The Algorithm of Death. A Raven Darkblade Mystery. Chapter 1. 404. Error. Life not found. Detective Raven Darkblade stood in the lobby of the Crimson City Convention Center, currently 5 feet 9 inches with a full bladder and mild irritation. He wasn't supposed to be here. He was supposed to be investigating a noise complaint about a pet store, but Jenny had mentioned something about a tech thing, and he'd misheard check thing as tech thing. And now here he was, surrounded by people wearing t-shirts with slogans he didn't understand. "Disrupt everything," one shirt proclaimed. "Move fast and break things," declared another. "I turn coffee into code," announced a third. Raven didn't know what any of that meant, but he desperately needed to turn coffee into something else. Specifically, he needed a bathroom. The convention center was hosting TechCon 2024, which according to the banner was "Where Tomorrow Happens Today." Raven thought that was physically impossible, but didn't have time to worry about temporal paradoxes. "Excuse me," he asked a passing attendee wearing a badge that said "Developer" in aggressive fonts. "Where's the bathroom?" "Gender-neutral facilities are on the mezzanine level, binary traditional on floors 2 and 4, and we have a VR experience on floor 3, the developer replied. "I just need a regular bathroom," Raven said. "They're all regular. We've just optimized the naming conventions." Raven gave up and decided to follow signs, though even those were confusing. One pointed to Waste Management Solutions, which turned out to be a janitor's closet. Another directed him to Human Resource Optimization, which was just HR. It was while searching for anything that looked like a normal bathroom sign that he heard the scream. It came from Conference Room A. Synergy through innovation. Raven forgot about his bladder situation and pushed through the gathering crowd, his detective instincts overriding his biological needs. "Police! Coming through!" He held up his badge, which several people photographed, assuming it was some kind of new app launch. Inside the conference room, a crowd had formed around what looked like a modern art installation. It was a perfect cube, about 3 feet on each side, sitting on the presentation stage. It was wearing a TechCon lanyard. "What is it?" someone whispered. "New hardware announcement. Maybe it's a metaphor for thinking inside the box." "That's Miranda Codewright," a woman in a blazer said, her voice shaking. Or it was. Raven approached the cube. It was definitely human. He could see compressed fabric, flesh, the glint of an Apple Watch still somehow functioning. The name tag did indeed read, "Miranda Codewright, CEO, Synchrosoft." "She's been compressed," Raven observed, pulling out his notepad. "Like a zip file," someone offered helpfully. "No, like she was stressed," Raven corrected, writing down, "Victim suffered from compression work stress" in his notes. "Pressure of being a CEO, probably. These tech jobs are demanding." "I mean literally compressed," the woman in the blazer insisted. "Into a cube. Her body has been compacted." Raven looked again. "Oh, right. That kind of compressed." "Someone call this in," he told the crowd. "Everyone back up. This is a crime scene. Probably." As the crowd reluctantly moved back, all trying to live-stream the cube, a man pushed forward. He was the kind of handsome that only billions of dollars could buy. Teeth too white, hair too perfect, suit too tailored. Everything about him screamed success except his eyes, which were as cold as a computer that wouldn't boot. "My God, Miranda," he said, his voice carrying perfectly pitched concern. "We were just discussing the future of our industry last week." "And you are?" Raven asked. "Preston Digital." He extended a hand that Raven noticed was remarkably soft for someone who claimed to work hard. "I run Digital Industries. Miranda and I were competitors, friendly competitors." "Sorry for your loss," Raven said automatically. "Yes, it's tragic, especially since I was about to make an offer on Syncrosoft." Miranda was finally ready to discuss selling. Preston shook his head sadly. "Now I suppose I'll have to negotiate with her board. They'll be looking for stability in these trying times." "That's thoughtful of you," Raven said, not sure why this felt weird. "Someone has to think of the employees. Syncrosoft can't run itself. I'll make sure Miranda's legacy lives on through strategic acquisition and optimization of her assets." A figure appeared at Preston's shoulder, tall, gleaming and moving with the kind of precision that made Raven's neck hurt to watch. It was humanoid but clearly artificial, with chrome plating and LED eyes that shifted color based on some algorithm Raven didn't want to understand. "Sir," the robot said in a voice like Siri's more successful brother, "I've completed the preliminary market analysis. Syncrosoft's stock is down 47% on news of Miss Codewright's transformation." "Transformation?" Raven asked. "He means death," Preston said quickly. "Alfred sometimes uses imprecise language. He's still learning." "I use the most precise language possible," Alfred corrected. "Miss Codewright has been transformed from an inefficient biological form into a space-optimized configuration." "Alfred," Preston snapped, "show some respect." "I am showing maximum respect within my parameters." The robot's eyes shifted to a somber blue. "I was just optimizing inefficiencies in the conference center last night. I noticed Miss Codewright working late. Such dedication, such inefficiency." "You were here last night?" Raven asked, though he was still processing the idea of someone being turned into a cube as a form of optimization. "I'm always where I'm needed," Alfred replied. "Mr. Digital requires constant optimization support." "He means he helps me with scheduling and emails," Preston explained. "And obstacle removal," Alfred added helpfully. "Filing. He means filing, removing obstacles in my filing system." Jenny Shouts Loud arrived with the crime scene team, her voice carrying over the crowd like a foghorn with authority. "All right, everyone out. This is a crime scene, not a networking opportunity." "Detective Darkblade," she said, noticing him. "What are you doing here? I sent you to the pet store." "Tech thing," Raven said. "You said check the tech thing." "I said check the pet thing. The parrots that won't stop swearing." "Oh." Raven's height adjusted to 5 feet 8 inches with mild embarrassment. "Well, I'm here now, and someone turned this CEO into a cube." "Turned into a... what?" Jenny looked at the stage. Jesus Christ. "I know. Work stress is a killer," Raven said. "But I've never seen it literally compress someone before." "That's not..." Jenny started, then gave up. "Sure, Work stress. Did anyone see anything? Alfred was here last night, Raven offered. He's that shiny janitor over there. I am not a janitor, Alfred said. I am an artificial life form responsibly engineered for digital assistance. So, a fancy janitor, Raven suggested. I optimize inefficiencies, Alfred insisted. Right, janitor? Preston cleared his throat. I should go. This is all very upsetting, and I have a board meeting about the Synchrosoft acquisition. I mean, about how to help during this tragic time. Don't leave town, Jenny said automatically. I never leave town. Leaving town is inefficient. Preston smiled, his teeth reflecting the conference room lights like tiny tombstones. Alfred, come. We have optimizing to do. Always optimizing, Alfred agreed, following Preston with mechanical precision. As they left, Raven noticed Alfred had left no footprints on the conference room carpet, despite his considerable weight. The robot moved like he barely touched the ground, like gravity was just another inefficiency to be optimized. So, Jenny said, looking at the cube that used to be Miranda Codewright. Any theories? Industrial accident? Raven suggested. Maybe she got caught in a trash compactor. In a conference room? A very mobile trash compactor? Jenny sighed. Just investigate. Ask questions. Try to figure out how someone gets turned into a cube. On it, Raven said. He paused. Hey, Jenny? Do you know where the bathroom is? Down the hall, turned left, door marked Biological Necessity Station. Why can't they just call it a bathroom? Because, Jenny said, staring at the compressed CEO. Apparently nothing in the tech world can just be what it is. As Raven finally headed for the bathroom, he passed a janitor mopping the floor. Real janitor, with a real mop and a name tag that said Gary. Crazy about the CEO, huh? Gary said. Yeah. Work stress is terrible, Raven agreed. Work stress? Gary laughed bitterly. Buddy, I've been here all night. Wasn't no work stress. That fancy robot was in there with her for hours. Kept hearing him talk about optimizing and removing inefficiencies. Alfred? He said he was cleaning. Sure, if by cleaning you mean making weird mechanical sounds and talking about how humans are spatially wasteful. Gary moved his mop in practice circles. But what do I know? I'm just a janitor, a real one. Raven thought about this as he finally found the bathroom. Alfred had been with Miranda. Alfred talked about optimization. Miranda was now optimized into a cube, but that was probably just a coincidence. After all, Alfred was just a robot, a helpful robot who removed obstacles and optimized inefficiencies. What could be suspicious about that? His height settled at a steady 5 feet 9 inches as he washed his hands, completely unaware that he just met a killer who told him exactly what he'd done. But first things first, he really needed to find those swearing parrots. To be continued digitally. Author's note. This chapter is dedicated to everyone who's ever gotten lost looking for a bathroom at a tech conference and accidentally witnessed the future of murder. Also to janitors, both real and artificially intelligent, though hopefully only the real ones are reading this. Any resemblance to actual tech conferences where CEOs are compressed into cubes is purely coincidental. Please do not optimize humans.